Hey guys, what's going on? This is MJ with Rec RC. Um, we do a lot of projects, and a lot of the projects we're doing aren't always covered. So this is a project that is almost complete that I'd love to share with you guys. I'm in the process of restoring a boat that has been in my family since basically I was born, and you see the gray hair, so it's been a long time. It's aluminum, little Starcraft, Seafarer 16-foot modified V bow. But that's not what matters, okay? The boat's sentimental to me personally. It was my grandfather's. It's what I learned how to fish out of. My dad took me, just going on the list. My dad gave it to me when I first bought our house. Had a place to put it. Finally, was able to take it out. We made some great memories in this thing. We went down to Virginia Beach, caught some shark, got into some shenanigans. Lots of skates, lots of night fishing out on the Potomac. My buddy and I would just put a couple of work lights over the side, like slightly over. Call the bait fish in, just sit there, give it a half hour, enjoy life, put some music on, and wait for the strike. Those almost legal size stripers, but they're still a lot of fun, especially if you throw in a fish finder rig and double up. But a lot of great memories. So I just want to take a few minutes. I want to share with you guys what this boat has been done. What's happening. All right, let's take a look. Okay, so you guys can see. I'll start from up here. We're working on and every piece of wood in this boat was taken off. Okay, this. I'm not a fan of how this seam came out, but I'll work on that later. I replaced everything with marine grade ply 1/2 inch all the way back. That was a difficult process. Okay, in order to get this stuff in here, I had to, and you guys can see on the outside, I had to pop the rivets. Okay, and that white stuff is nothing crazy, but it is Marine's Loctite. No, or it's one of the marine sealants. I either used Loctite or I used 3M. Okay, I spared nothing on the terms of this boat. Previously it was all pull start. You can see the battery box. I do have a Group 24 battery sitting in here. It's not hooked up, ready to go. You can see the line that I have, and I'm gonna put it for back there. What started to get to me was when I repowered this a few years back. I bought a E-Tech 30. The transom was starting to go. And the first thing was get that done. It's been done for quite a few years, actually. You can see it sat in the weather for a little bit, and I'm giving it a few more stain coats of Epiphanes as we go. But underneath here, again, this is all 1/2 inch grade. I had to get really creative. One problem that I ran into here was this piece right here, because it has to slide underneath that. I ended up with about a 1/2 inch gap right here. So I cut a piece of 1/2 inch, I filled it in, and then just to give it a little extra structural rigidity, I threw in some of the Total Boat fiberglass filler. So, and that's going all the way through there. Okay. I don't know if you can actually kind of see the wood that I did and stained down through here. Okay. There you go. Kind of try and zoom in. It was not an easy process. Tearing it out was difficult, especially getting up underneath there. You can see some of them. I'm going to add another screw in there to kind of pop that down. But it was definitely difficult. The other part that's difficult is actually measuring these for this wood, because I don't know if you can do justice, but the curvature of the boat starting to go this way, so this follows it. So that curve makes it just a little bit more fun. You have to measure twice, maybe 3 times before you cut once, and hope you cut it right, because if not, good luck. So let's talk about some of the other stuff, right? You can clearly see that there was a piece of wood here. It sat for forever. And to show you guys what kind of wood was there, okay, you can see this lovely little 1980s color. That's what was there. Yeah, you got the M12s. Yep. Okay, got some new seats for it as well. I'm really looking forward to getting those installed. I still have a couple of the original seats. And then, I don't know if you can see, I got all kind of crap here. You see the original seat right there? That was a thing my grandfather made. And then I got a seat that I had bought to replace it, those got really hot. That was not as hot, but the seat was not as good of a quality. So we're going to see what we can do. Now, you guys can also see that run some wire. Now, my plan, I need to get a little bit more of this so that way I can wrap it. This needs to be a little bit bigger. Now, it's going to be fun. It's part of life. We'll figure this out, how to wrap this in there. But I definitely want to get it wrapped just as one more added layer of protection, because I'm going to flip this around. I don't know if you can see right there. I don't want that rubbing. That stationary, it's fine. It's not going to do anything. It's also not, I don't have the positive on. You guys can see the battery box. I did put a disconnect on it just because I don't like extra draws, and you can still see that the battery is not going to make a connection, even though I have it ready, but it's not. I'm not playing those games, reindeer games. Different shenanigans, not reindeer games. No shocky. Here we go. That's the words that my students love to hear. Okay, so let's talk a little bit. Actually, here let's go back and so you guys can see more of what the process looked like. You can really see the wood here. I really took my time. You can see good quality aluminum screws. I'm pretty sure I put more screws in there than it was required. But there's a lip right there, so I put 3 instead of 2. And this goes all the way across. There's a center point underneath that runs the whole length of the boat. That supports there. And this is one thing that I really do like about this thing. You can see I have lots of cutting to do, and I gotta lay these out, but that's a minor detail, right? But what I really like about it is it's really accessible for the plug. And at the plug, I can just go to Walmart and get a new one. Like, I really appreciate the simplicity of this particular vessel versus a lot of the other stuff that I've done in the past. One thing that's fun about Evinrude's, because that's, as I mentioned, that's what's going to go on here. These right here, they're heavy. They are very heavy. I put a little bit of this JB in here to support, and I'm also going to use part of that. I'm going to cut it probably into thirds about this width. I'm going to coat a little bit more with some of that Epithanes, and this is where this is going to get fun. It needs a little bit more support underneath, but it can't be too much, because the actual shaft of the E-Tech is longer than a Yami or a Merc, so it makes things fun. All right, enough to look and see what else we got. You can see the garage itself is a work in progress. It's been a work in progress for years. I've got, hold on, you see these guides? These guys have been on there from probably 1992 or earlier. These things have been life-changing, especially there's a few places and a few ramps that I've gone that don't have any dock. So this getting in with the current, man, that makes it simple. And I mean, the trailer itself is in solid shape. I got new wheels and tires coming because that's what you do. And I'm going to put a fresh light system on it. So that's one of my plans is over the next couple of weeks. I'm going to take a day off and take the boat down, pick up my pass and dock it so I can work on the trailer and get that thing done. You can see the Starcraft. That damage, this is weirdly sentimental. When I used to live in another state and I was in college, my father used the boat to save some people because the area that I lived in flooded. It was like a historic 100-year plus flood, courtesy of a hurricane. And that's courtesy of a fence post that they ran into courtesy of the water while they were saving somebody. It's like all these marks have a story. Okay. All right, so what are we taking a lot? Sorry, I'm having a moment. The sun's a little bit bright. Got the tow pig right there. All right, so this is the E-Tech. Needs a little bath, but that's okay. One of the things that I did when I had it refreshed is I added added these. Now, this is where things are going to get a little interesting, because as you saw that cord, I'm going to have to use a soldering iron, solder it up, boom, done, squared away. But you'll enjoy, like, you guys will enjoy this. This is liftable. I got a little cart. I'm going to put it up on the cart, take it over, and I actually have it. It's not even an engine stand, but you can see right here that we got this that purple line, because I have a come along that I'm going to put up, and it'll all right. So, ladies and gentlemen, here I'll come over, show you a little bit of the fun workstation. This is Ocean Pro, I think. I got it off of Amazon. It was hard to work with at first because it was tightly rolled, so I had to let it, go out. And we've had such a beautiful day. I let it sit in the sun, so that helped warm it up a little bit. You can see some of the scraps, and I got to clean up. And make sure, by the way, whenever you do any kind of project, whatever tape measure you start with, keep with it. All right, so look in here. This is going to be for the top, and that's for that little area in the front. It's going to be great. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say thank you. You're my little tiny human in the background, and have fun. Have a good one.